Hello people. I usually make videos when I find something new or when I find a different way to do something. And today, or well, actually yesterday, I figured out a way to do something, and I was thinking in my mind that's how to do it when I was sleeping. Usually, you come up with great great ideas then. Anyways, I have this this casing I'm trying to model. I'll show you. You see in the corner there, you can see there are some stamped in rings. So it's inside, and then if you look underneath, it's like a placement for the feet, and it's sort of extruded out a little bit. And there are several ways you can make this. You can use a revolve on a sketch. The problem is I figured out that if you use revolve on a sketch, you make it into a surface, then you need to stitch the revolve, and then you need to join it to the sheet metal, which this is, and then the sheet metal is not possible to flat pattern afterwards. For some weird reason I couldn't figure out what it was, so I had to recheck my old version where I actually could flat pattern it, and it seems I used a Torus to make it there. Now, making it with a Torus can be a little bit tricky, and that's the reason why I'm making this video today, because it's been a long time so I couldn't remember, but making a Torus after a sketch point as a center point seems to confuse people a lot on the web. I tried to search on several websites, and some of them says it's not possible, and some of them shows that you can only use it against the origin point. But this video will show you how you can actually do that from a sketch point. And it's in addition, I will also show you how you can fix this so that if you make a Torus to make a shape like this in a sheet metal, it would still be flat patternable. So I'm gonna just update my flat pattern here. Let's just get into it. So I have my design. I have made designs where I want the toruses to be, and I know how big the toruses should be. So what I do is I just remove the body for now, the main body, and then I edit the sketch. Come on. Edit sketch. So I will start with this one. And then I want the torus to go from this line to this line. That's going to be the size of the main torus. Now the problem comes also when I want this torus to be hollow, because I want to cut off the top so that it has the indent downwards. So let's just see first how I am going to make this torus fit in from the sketch. So if you have a sketch like this and you try to create a torus, you will not be able to select the point where the torus should be. You can try and just select it like roughly where it's supposed to be, but it will not snap to anything. So the trick to this is that you need to do this in sketch mode. So you need to open the sketch that you're going to use the torus from, like here, and you're going to say, okay, I want the torus to be from this point. I want the torus to be from this point. And what you then do is, now you see I have the sketch menu here. If you just go to the solid menu and then you go to create and then you go to torus, then it takes you out of sketch mode, but you're able to select the sketch point on the plane where it is. Can you see here? The sketch palette was removed, but you're able to select the point. But if you are starting in solid mode and go to torus, you cannot select it. So the trick is, go into the sketch, edit sketch, and then from the edit sketch you click the solid menu, and then you take create torus, and I think this works with sphere as well. Yeah, so you see here you can do the same thing with a sphere. And then so basically you go into the sketch mode, and then you go to solid, create torus, and then you can select the midpoint where you want to sketch. I'm gonna tilt it here so you can actually see that it does it. And then I want the center point of that torus to be snapping to this one. And then I press enter. So now you can see that the center point of the torus is in the sketch, and it's based on the point in the sketch. Now I want to set the size of this should be 2.78, and then I want to just look at it from top. You can see that it's roughly on the edge, okay, and I start with this as a new body, okay. And then I'm just gonna show you how it's gonna start look like. So I'll just remove the sketch. You can see this is starting to look great already. The thing is, I made this, let me see if I can bring up the construction plane on it. This is the construction plane for the pads. So if you look for it for the back, you can see that it's this is the sheet metal, and this is the middle of that sheet metal, and that is the design plane of the torus, because I want the torus to have a mid plane that starts in the middle of the sheet metal. Okay, so now you know where I place the design. It's on a sheet plane that's in it's on a plane on a sketch in the middle of that sheet metal. Okay, but I'll remove the main body for now, because we still need to go and I don't want to look at this all the time. So again, for the next part, I'm gonna do it in section analysis. So what you do is you in my case, I just easily go to the body, and because I have a flat surface there, inspect, section analysis, and yeah, I already did that, but then you just drag it to the point where you have, so you can see where it intersects. Okay, and then you just like here, I'll just leave it on activated, and then I just remove this one. Okay, the reason why I'm working on it like this is so I can see the inside. Now I found that some way of making the inside hollow is different. You can try to do it like I did before. You make two torus, one for the outside, one for the inside, and then you use the outside one to cut, but you don't really know how big the walls are gonna be. So in this case, the thickness of the sheet metal is 1.25 millimeters, and I need to use half of that as the wall inside the torus. And the easiest way to do this is to hollow out the torus with the shell tool. So I go in here and I select modify on the solid menu, and then I go to shell, and then I go and I click the whole body. I don't want to use a side or anything, so the whole body, and I select inside. You can select outside, both, whatever, but inside, then it will calculate the width of the wall from the outside to towards the inside. So and I want to use rounded shell because I want the edges to be round. I don't want it to be like square edges. And then I specify the thickness, which is 1.25 divided by 2. That is in millimeters, by the way. So it cannot calculate that, and that thickness is normally 1.25 divided by 2 at least. So the thickness of the shell should be 0.25. Okay, so I cannot use a rounded shell for that one. Okay, so I fixed that. I did that wrong before. And then with half of the width of the sheet metal, it means that when the sheet metal is pressed down, half of the wall would be inside the bend and the other half will be outside the bend. And the inside will be let's see what the diameter of the inside is. Diameter 1.53. I think that should be fine. You always need some leniency to go on there. Okay, so there is another problem though. So I made a torus. Torus is hollow, and then I bring in the body, and I am supposed to cut off the top here to make the axis the inside. But I haven't joined this torus to the sheet metal yet, and if I do that, I am gonna be stuck with the middle of the fill mass of the sheet metal inside the torus. So what I need to do is I need to make an object for the inside which I can use to cut, and I can do that easily without having to use a separate torus for it. So what you do is you go to body, and then you go to the torus you want to use, you go to create boundary fill, and this is the reason why I'm in analysis mode, because you need to be able to select the area inside the object, and you cannot do that unless you can see inside the object. Okay, so in analysis mode I can see the hole inside and I can select it. So I go to create. Binder fill is creates joints and removes volumes using bounding volumes formed by tool selections. So it will use the torus I made, which is hollow, to create another object for the inside to take the place of the empty space inside. Okay, so boundary fill, and then select the tool, it's this one, and select the cell, it's this one, and then I select OK. You see it got filled now, and I got a different body, which is the inside, and I can disable that, and I still have the open side. Okay, now we'll turn that off, and I'll do the same for all the other spots. So I'll go down and I'll activate this, and I'll just make each of the, I'll go back in the timeline, and I'll just make each of the toruses again. So edit, sketch, like I did before, create solid, create torus, select the midpoint where I want it, and I can see that apparently it's off axis. That's weird. Okay, that's not correct, so I'll just need to make an adjustment here, guys. There. I'll just pause the video while I make the correction. Okay, so I'm back. You didn't see that, but I made some adjustment because I don't like things to be off center. So now I just redid all the mirroring here and made sure this center point was in center point. Okay, so let's continue. I'll make another torus on this one. So I'll have to edit the sketch. Remember that, it's important. Edit sketch. And from edit sketch you have to change to solid and then create, and then you can select the object you want. You see it went out of it, but now I can select the sketch and I want the torus here, and then I want to set it to 2.78. Okay. Actually, I selected the wrong one now. So go back, because it's supposed to, if you can see on the other one, you can see I selected this one as the torus line. I selected wrong, so I'll do that again. Create torus, midpoint, and this. I was wondering about the value was 100 instead 600. It's like, I think I need to check that. But anyway, that's the reason. And then 2.78, 2.78. Okay. And then I'll go in. I'll do the same here. Edit, sketch, solid, create, torus, center point. Again, 2.78, 2.78. Okay. And then edit, sketch, change to solid, create, torus, and then I can select this and that one, 2.78, 2.78. Okay. So there you have it. Now we made all of them. And sometimes I found this bug. You can see here, the marker is here, but it's not showing them. So what you can do is right click this one and then select roll history marker here. And then it will actually reactivate the objects. So now you can see I have all these, and now I need to make the shell command of all. And the thing with the shell command is that you can just roll. Now I think it's bugged out a little bit. Let's just delete those two for now. And I'll just use this to go all the way to the side. Looks like I have a bug here now. I'll use the same as sketch. There. And I'll just close it down. Sometimes you get errors like these, and it's not so much you can do about it. Just make sure you save your sketch. So we're back at it. Top. And then I'll just go in and I'll take the value that I had from before. It's half of 1.25, which is 0.625. And I'll just shell this first. I'll hide the sketch because it's sort of in the way. Modify, shell, modify, shell, and I like to select the whole body. In this case, which body is it? So I'll start with this one. Okay, so I want to have all the bodies in a certain arrangement. Let me see. Top. And I want to view the stance. I would start 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the work order I want. So I'll start with this one. That's the last one. This one. Second last one. This one. Last one. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So It's the work order I want to do them in. So I'll start with the first one, which is here, and I'll remove the main body. I'll hide the sketch and go to modify shell and leave it at sharp shell. Select the main body, should be this one, and just set it to 0.5. okay. And since I did that on that one, now I can also use the same one for the rest of the objects, of course. So I can go in and edit, and then I can say, okay, I want to use all of these objects with the same shelling. Okay, so now you see this one is shelled and this one is shelled, and they are all identical. This is not showing though. And now the next step is, as I said, I need to make the inside of the thing is here with the boundary fill. And I'll do that on one of them at a time, because you need a separate boundary fill for each of them. So I'll start with this one, create boundary fill. So you can mark it first so you get the correct selection, and then you select cells, and then you have to click on the cell you want to change. And in this case you can see that it changed the shade. This is the outer one, and it should be this one. So this one here is the outer one, this one here is the inner one. So just make a hook and you leave that one body and you leave the tools, otherwise it will remove the outside. And then let's see, I think I did something wrong here now. Let me see. Sometimes the boundary fill can be a little bit difficult to select. There, now it looks better. And then I select this. Now you can see it's almost like it selects the inside. See? It's like it marks the outside. You can see where the black shade is. And then I click on that one. And when I now press OK, you see I get a filling. So I call this 59A. And I call this 59 cut. I'll just move it up in the hierarchy like that, and then I'll just hide it for now. Okay, and then let's go to the next one, which is this one. So create, and notice I haven't marked it yet. Boundary fill, select tools, and then it's this one. And if you have selected it correctly, you will see that it shows the, before you select cells, you see that it shows the section analysis view on the outer part. When I then click select, you will see that that's the outside, and then you need to get it so that you can mark the inside. And now you see, to mark the inside I actually have to click this one, which is kind of weird. So I never liked the boundary fill all being green, because you cannot really see what you're doing. If I now press OK on this, before I had to press OK on that one. If I now press OK on this, I get the boundary fill. See? It's really annoying. They should fix that. There should be two different distinct colors for boundary fill. One showing the inside object and one showing the outside, and it should be much easier to select it. So 61A B cut, and that is the inside. 60A B cut. So bring that up there. So it's 61, and that is the filling for that one. Okay. So I'll just remove the cut for now, and then we have the next one. And I can show you what happens when you try to do it without section analysis. So I go to create, cancel that one, create boundary fill, and then I'll select this one. Maybe I can select the inside by using this. I am not sure, but I don't think so. If we go to select here, I don't know. This seems to be the outside. That seems to be the inside. But it is much easier to see it if you use the section analysis view. So I'll just drag that out. Edit. And OK. So now I go to the same. Create boundary fill. And then I select the body. And then I select the cell. Now you see it's the outside one. So it's like it's almost random what it selects. Now, there I got it. 62A and 62A cut. Okay, so this one and the inside objects. Okay, now we have one last one. So it's same process again, boundary fill, and I mark the last object, select for cells, and now it's the outside there, and this is the inside. Okay. So it's 63A, 63A cut. Okay, so now I have all the cut parts I need, and they have exactly the size that is inside the analysis. So what we now need to do is we need to combine the 59 the solid parts into the sheet metal. So I'll do that. So we'll bring in the sheet metal. I'll turn off section analysis. Okay, and then I'll select this body, which is the main body, and then I'll select modify, combine, and then I'll select tool bodies is the ones I want to use, and I want to use join, keep tools. For examples now, I'll show it, I'll keep tools, and then I'll select 59A, 60N, 62, and 63. These are the ones that want to be solid, will create the walls of the pressings. And I press OK, and then I will hide these. And I will show you that when I now do an analysis on this one, let's see, edit, okay, you can see it became as I predicted. You get the inside here is filled. Now we need to fix that. So first I'm just going to update flat pattern, and then I'm going to activate the flat pattern to see that it is not working. That is strange. I'll handle that later. Sheet metal, modify. Maybe I need to modify them to be sheet metal parts first, but it shouldn't be necessary. Okay, let's see. So I'll go back to this, I'll take that away, and I'll select solid. Maybe I can do that from sheet modify. No, I have to use solid modify combine, and then the target body is the main body. Then I need to use cut, then I select all of the objects are made to cut, keep tools, and there it deselected them, and then I can turn back on analysis, and then you can see that they are hollow. So that is good so far, and I don't think it manages to fix the flat pattern yet. This could have something to do with the fact that these do not equal to the bend width or something. I will look into that later. That is something for a different video though. Anyway, now I can use a different set here. Let's see, I can go to construction and main plane. Yes, I want to design a new plane using that one, and then create sketch. Then I will project. I'll turn off the analysis. I just want the center points. Okay. Then I'll just make some squares. Actually, I want to do it like this. P, okay. Make a square. $30, $30. Okay. Create mirror there. Okay. And then mirror that. There. So now I got them both. Okay. So next step. Need to do cut. And there you have it. And now all you have to do is just fillet edges. There you have a press like the one I want to use. Now I have a feeling this will not pattern down very well, so I'll update and activate. Why is there a review warning? Compute failed. Yeah. So I think this has something to do with the size of those thingies and the fact that it's 0.2 no, 1.25 millimeters, but the edges inside them is not. So Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys how to make a Torus from a sketch point, and yeah, so I hope this was meaningful, and please like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.